History of Palestine. Ancient Palestine, the land of early civilizations. Palestine, a land of profound historical and religious significance, has been a cradle of civilizations for thousands of years. Located at the crossroads of Africa, Asia, and Europe, this region has witnessed the rise and fall of numerous empires, the migration of diverse peoples, and the evolution of major religious traditions. The earliest known inhabitants of Palestine were Paleolithic and Neolithic communities who settled in the region around 10,000 BCE. Archaeological evidence from Jericho, one of the oldest inhabited cities in the world, suggests that early civilizations thrived here by practicing agriculture and animal domestication. By the 4th millennium BCE, Palestine became part of the wider Near Eastern cultural and economic networks. Canaanite and Egyptian influence, 300 to 1200 BCE. The region known as Canaan, which included present-day Palestine, was inhabited by a Semitic people known as the Canaanites. These early inhabitants developed urban centers, engaged in trade, and established religious practices that influenced later civilizations. During the 2nd millennium BCE, Palestine came under the influence of the Egyptian Empire, which controlled the region as part of its imperial holdings. Egyptian dominance continued until around 1200 BCE, when the region saw significant upheavals due to migrations and invasions. Israelites, Philistines, and the kingdoms of Israel and Judah, 1200 to 586 BCE. During the 12th century BCE, various groups, including the Israelites and Philistines, settled in the region. The biblical narrative describes the Israelites as having migrated from Egypt under Moses, eventually establishing the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. The Philistines, likely of Aegean origin, settled along the coastal regions, particularly in cities such as Gaza, Ashdod, and Ekron. The unified kingdom of Israel, under rulers such as Saul, David, and Solomon, circa 1020 to 931 BCE, saw the construction of the first temple in Jerusalem. However, after Solomon's reign, the kingdom split into two, Israel in the north and Judah in the south. The northern kingdom fell to the Assyrian Empire in 722 BCE, while Judah was conquered by the Babylonian Empire in 586 BCE, leading to the destruction of the first temple and the Babylonian exile of the Jewish population. Persian, Greek, and Roman rule, 539 BCE, 636 CE. In 539 BCE, the Persian Empire, led by Cyrus the Great, conquered Babylon and allowed the Jewish exiles to return to Palestine and rebuild the Second Temple in Jerusalem. Persian rule lasted until Alexander the Great's conquest in 332 BCE, ushering in a period of Hellenistic influence. Following Alexander's death, his empire fragmented, and Palestine came under the control of the Ptolemies and later the Seleucid Empire. The Maccabean Revolt 167 to 160 BCE against the Seleucids led to the establishment of an independent Hasmonean kingdom, which was later absorbed into the Roman Republic in 63 BCE under Pompey the Great. Roman rule brought significant changes to Palestine, including the expansion of cities and infrastructure. During this period, Jesus of Nazareth emerged, and his teachings formed the foundation of Christianity. The Jewish-Roman Wars, 66 to 135 CE, resulted in the destruction of the Second Temple, 70 CE, and the dispersal of much of the Jewish population. Byzantine and early Islamic period, 313 to 1099 CE. With the Christianization of the Roman Empire under Emperor Constantine, Palestine became a major center of Christian pilgrimage. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre was constructed in Jerusalem, and many other Christian sites were established. In 636 CE, Muslim forces under Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab conquered Palestine, marking the beginning of Islamic rule. Under the Rashidun, Umayyad, and Abbasid caliphates, Palestine became an integral part of the Islamic world, with Jerusalem, Al-Quds, gaining religious importance due to the presence of Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. Crusader and Ayyubid period, 1099 to 1291 CE. The First Crusade, 1096 to 1099, resulted in the capture of Jerusalem by European crusaders, who established the Latin Kingdom of Jerusalem. For nearly a century, the Crusaders ruled parts of Palestine, often clashing with Muslim forces. In 1187, the Muslim general Salah al-Din Saladin recaptured Jerusalem, restoring Islamic rule. The Ayyubid dynasty maintained control until the rise of the Mamluks, who decisively defeated the last Crusader strongholds by 1291. Ottoman era, 1517 to 1917. In 1517, the Ottoman Empire, led by Sultan Selim I, conquered Palestine from the Mamluks. Under Ottoman rule, Palestine remained a largely agrarian society, with cities like Jerusalem, Jaffa, and Hebron serving as regional centers. The Ottomans governed Palestine for 400 years, during which trade and religious pilgrimage flourished. British Mandate and the Zionist Movement, 1917 to 1948. Following World War I, the British captured Palestine from the Ottomans, and the League of Nations granted Britain a mandate over the region. The Balfour Declaration of 1917, which supported a Jewish homeland in Palestine, led to increased Jewish immigration and tensions with the Arab population. The 1936 to 1939 Arab Revolt sought to resist British rule and Zionist immigration, but it was suppressed. After World War II, the United Nations proposed the partition of Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, leading to further conflict. Establishment of Israel and Palestinian displacement, 1948, present. In 1948, the State of Israel was declared, leading to the First Arab-Israeli War. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were displaced in what is known as the Nakba catastrophe. Subsequent wars in 1956, 1967, and 1973 further reshaped the region, with Israel occupying the West Bank and Gaza Strip in 1967. The Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, emerged as a major force advocating for Palestinian self-determination. The Oslo Accords, 1993 to 1995, brought hopes for peace, but tensions, violence, and continued Israeli settlement expansion have prolonged the conflict. Conclusion. The history of Palestine is one of resilience and struggle, shaped by millennia of conquests, migrations, and cultural exchanges. Today, the quest for peace and justice in the region remains one of the most pressing international issues.